Hello, this is Douglas Robinson from Beyond 20, and today I'm going to be demonstrating how to apply changes to a field across members of a group of business objects. You may want to make a change to a field that is shared across multiple different members of a group, and a good example of this would be the owned by fields or primary user fields on a CI, or fields that you might see on many different specifics forms. And the use case here is going to be that you have a field that's used across many different objects that you need to change validation settings for, or you want to change either a default value or a required field on many different group members at once. Now, to do this, first, of course, we're going to need to create a new blueprint in our admin tool, and then we're going to select the object and open the properties for the field that we want to change. So if I want to go into configuration items, and let's say I want to have the owned by field validate off of the customer table instead of the user info table, I can do so by changing the validation on this one group member first, and then I'm going to do that before I go on. So I will change the validation on this group member to validate off of the customer table with the full name field, and then I'm going to click OK to apply that change. So if I wanted to update owned by across group members to have a customer owner instead of a user owner, I would make that change to this one group member, and then I would go into the field properties here, and what you're going to do is you're going to remove this field from the group members that you want to update. So I have a config conference room business object that also has an owned by field that's validated off of user, and if I want to say that the conference room is going to be owned by a customer instead of a user, and I have the owned by on this group member set to be validated off customer, I'm going to remove it from the conference room. I'm going to press OK, go back into the field properties, and then give that field back to that group member, which in this case would be conference room. Click OK again, and then apply your changes, and then go back to the other group member to verify that the changes that you've made are done. And moving between group members, you can either go to the home screen here, or if you haven't noticed, there is a drop down up at the top when you're editing a group business object member where you can switch easily between either the leader or the group members. I'm going to use this drop down to move over to the conference room object that I just updated. And here, if I want to check the validation on our owned by field, I can see that it was updated and it was moved to the very bottom of the list. If I go and look at validation, I can see that this is now validated off of the customer table. Now, all of your properties are going to get moved over as well, and some considerations here are going to be if you have a calculated value that's using tokens in the expression that are specific to that group member instead of following best practices and doing your expressions under a group leader, it may break on the other group members, so you want to be careful about which members you update when you change a field like this. And also, you will definitely break auto population from one group member to another, or you may break auto population from one group to another. So your changes to validation and auto population, they may transfer over to other group members correctly, but they may also not. So that's something to keep in mind. And then, of course, after you're done, you're going to apply your changes and publish your blueprint. I don't actually need to update my configuration items to be validated off of the customer table. That was just an example. But now we know how to update changes from one group member to multiple group members, and obviously if you needed to update all of the group members at once, you could just go into this group field here and make it so that this field is only available to just this group member, which will actually take that group member away, or that field away, from all of the other group members at once. and then press OK, and then go back into these field properties and make it available to all group members again, and that will update the properties for this field across each member of the group. It is important to note, however, that you cannot do this from the group leader. We don't have the actual reason why you can't do this. You just do not have the option to update or to add or remove a field from group members under the group leader. You can see this window here for the group settings for that field is actually grayed out when you're viewing it from the group leader. So this has been a video on how to update field properties across different group members. If you have any questions or comments about this video, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. And for other videos, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/beyond20llc.